This week, we venture into the wonderful world of webcomics and interview Penny Arcade creators Jerry Holkins and Mike Krahulik. This week, we're reviewing some great webcomics, such as... What are you doing?
Drawing a line. It's a warning.
A what?
That side is for the ignorant readers of other webcomics, but this side is for the disciples of Penny Arcade.
The bathroom's on your side.
So is God.
There are many great
Oh, say it, goddammit! Penny Arcade is civilization.
In the last 15 years, webcomics have led the way in showing how independent creators can find their audience on the internet, making decent livings, and even starting their own franchises, rivaling anything in the so-called mainstream. Among the biggest is Penny Arcade, written by Jerry Holkins and illustrated by Mike Krahulik. Their alter egos Tycho and Gabe have been commenting on the world of video games for the last 11.5 years, with their art and jokes getting better and better with no end in sight. Their fascinating history is documented in a newly released anniversary book. Scott Kurtz's equally long-running and popular PvP has also helped establish the field, with Kurtz pushing his art and the entire community itself to improve, while still staying on top of geek culture and all of its development. Then there is XKCD by Randall Munroe, a hilarious lateral thinking strip. The simple stick figure art underlies amazing gags and deep observations on human nature. Published comic book creators such as Warren Ellis and Paul Duffield have leapt into creating their own webcomics. Their Freak Angels follows a group of superpowered kids trying to build a safe haven in a post-apocalypse they may have created. Duffield's art is rich and engaging, and if Ellis's plot feels slow, it's only because you can't wait for the next installment of this 4-Orange series. Several artists like Cameron Stewart and Carl Kerschel founded Transmission X for their strips. Stewart's Schuster award-winning Sin Titulo is a disturbing, twisted tale, while Carl Kerschel's The Abominable Charles Christopher is a comedic strip about a mute yeti surrounded by talking animals. Other creators are using the web to publish issues a page at a time. These include the mad genius that is Dr. McNinja, the slapstick yet epic fantasy series Looking for Group, and the alternate reality exploring Jump Leads. Superhero comic book fans should check out Kurt Franklin and Chris Hadley's Let's Be Friends Again. Sharp art and sharp jokes about characters and the industry make for great fun. Also fun is Saturday Morning Breakfast Cereal by Zach Weiner. Its artwork is nothing special, but the off-color jokes are spot on. And finally, one of our new favorites is Hark a Vagrant by Kate Beaton. It takes real talent to consistently base a hilarious strip on literary ideas with an elegant, unique, and loose style. We give it 5 oranges. This week we're at Meltdown Comics in West Hollywood, California to interview Jerry Holkins and Mike Krahulik, creators of Penny Arcade. Why did you create this book? Was it funding for your swanky new offices? Funding for PAX East?
Neither of those, actually. Oh, neither.
Just below your chin.
Neither of those. Neither of those, actually. Books are sort of an afterthought for us. We don't really think to make them until someone reminds us that people make books. We're all, we're hooked into the internets.
We're in a bookstore.
Well, it was really the first thing we thought of. We thought, we need to get a book on the market because that's what people do.
Your origin story is how you met in journalism school. Mike said that he read comic books. What comic books did you read back then?
This would have been the very early 90s, so I read a lot of crap. But, in there was some good comics. I loved Jim Lee and Wildcats and all that. But yeah, I wish I could say that I read better material, but I really didn't.
I always had friends that loved comics, but that was never my thing.
Now that you are making comics, do you find yourself reading more comics?
I do, but I only follow certain authors. Anything by Bendis or Vaughn, those things. I'm starting to get kind of hooked on Grant Morrison, and I sort of get hooked on specific writers, and then I just read everything that they write. So I don't read comics so much as I read specific authors.
So we have a question from one of our viewers. Ever had an idea for a strip that was funny but just too inappropriate even for you?
Oh yeah, that happens constantly. In fact, we were really worried about doing the TV series because we knew that the cameras would be on us all the time and they would be capturing these horrible things that we said.
We'll typically strike on something that we think is very funny and is just inhuman. And we can't do that. We can go pretty far, but we do have a threshold.
Do you think anyone can repeat your success?
No. And they shouldn't even try.
No?
Mm-mm.
But
No.
if they wanted to,
No.
do you have any advice
Nope.
for them?
No, we've been exposed to terrible rays during the course of our success, rays that no mortal could endure.
Our advice tends to be that if what you want to do is make comics, then you should just make comics. And really,
Really honky.
Like, I don't know, maybe he was agreeing, like, yeah, I love comics.
I want to make it myself.
No, you have to make comics, and you have to fail a lot before you get anywhere near succeeding. So I would say our advice is to just keep on working through all the horrible things that are going to happen to you.
You started Child's Play, which is a charity that gives video games to children's hospitals.
Right.
How can our viewers help?
It's easy. You can go to childsplaycharity.org, and you'll see a map of the world there with children's hospitals all over. Just pick whichever one you like, and you'll be directed to their wish list with all the toys and games that hospital has said that they want/need. And it's as easy as buying something off their wish list, and it gets shipped right to the hospital.
We're holding a special Penny Arcade auction with all proceeds going to Child's Play. Tell them what they're bidding on, Rudy.
An autographed edition of Penny Arcade's 11th and a half anniversary book, with an epic original sketch in the front cover featuring all your favorite characters by Mike Krahulik, and also signed by Jerry Holkins. It's a great prize for giving to a great cause.
The auction runs on eBay for 7 days from the premiere of this episode. You can find it here. So please make a winning bid to give both you and some children some great gifts. See you next week. There are many great Go for it. You hesitated. There are many great webcomics. Sorry, let me overact a bit more. Come on.